Robert Kirkman, welcome back to the Invincible podcast.
Glad to be back. Very exciting.
So I got to say, you joined us for episode 50 of this show where we talked about the end of the comic book, the final issue. And then you joined us again for episode 100 of this show where we talked about the season finale to season 1. Now, it would have been really cool.
Do you guys know what episode this is?
It would have been really cool if this was episode 150 where we're talking about the season 2 finale. But you know what? Not everything needs to make it to 150 episodes. This is episode 144.
Oh,
isn't that crazy? 6 away.
We have done none of this intentionally, by the way. This just happened.
That's insane.
Yep.
So the next one I appear on will be called Invincible, focusing on Markey issue 1. That'll be the.
There you go.
You heard it. That's the scoop. That's the scoop. He said it first here.
So yeah, that was almost 3 years ago, and here we are now talking about season 2. Season 2 is done. The finale's out there. So
Yes.
what you been doing for 3 years? What's going on? How's it been?
Working on this damn show. No, it's been great. It's been a good time. I don't know. A lot of the show takes up a lot of my time. It's the main thing that I work on now. You'll see that I put out far fewer comics. That's because of the Invincible show.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's basically been that. I'm sure we'll get into it. There's not really much I can say, but we've been working on season 2 and 3 concurrently, and we did the voice records for season 2 and 3 all in one large chunk, with like no gap whatsoever. So it was literally like, congratulations, Steven. We've finished season 2. We'll see you next week for season 3.
But then it was, all right, congratulations. You finished season 3 and you don't see Steven for 2 or 3 years. I mean, what?
Yeah, if we are fortunate enough to get a season 4, there will be some gap in the recording there. So But all I was going to say is like, it's just, it's all been like it's one thing. It's still surprising to me that we haven't seen any leaks as far as casting for season 3 goes, because again, they recorded their voice lines so long ago. And there's some big names. It's very exciting. But yeah, and we've just, been working, we're putting the finishing touches on season 3 right now, over the next, little bit, but that's a long.
Well, if there's any like Invincible podcast exclusives you want to drop when it comes to like voices for season 3, now's the time. You could do it.
I think you did give us an exclusive last time, or maybe it wasn't an exclusive, but it felt like one. So if there's not,
Trying to think, is there a good one? Is there a good one?
No one listens to this podcast anyways, Robert. So you're safe.
I don't think that's quite true.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're waiting.
Will Adam Eve return in season 3?
Adam Eve will definitely return in season 3.
First.
No, here's the question then. Is there somebody returning in season 3 that was in season 1 that wasn't in season 2?
Yes, there are 2 big ones. Just off
there
the
we
top
go.
Of my head.
Nice.
Yeah.
I can guess who they are.
Yeah, I have some guesses.
Yeah, guess and I'll tell you if you're right or not.
Titan and Battle Beast.
Titan and Battle Beast.
Yeah.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Oh! I'll take
2
it.
for 2.
Awesome.
Well,
that's
it's nice that we're talking so much about season 3, but season 2 did just drop. So when you're working on Invincible as the creator of Invincible or co-creator of Invincible and directing and as a writer, dealing with voice recording, I mean, do you have a typical day-to-day routine while working on Invincible, or is every day different than the other?
I mean, there's a few like scheduled meetings. Like every Tuesday, I have a meeting about various things, and then that's with Marge Dean, the head of production, and David Alpert, my partner at Skybound. We sit down and talk about like all the high level stuff going on with various different things involving Invincible, and then there's different meetings that reoccur, but there's not any kind of like set day to day, like, oh, I check in on this, I check in on that. There's constantly, emails on various things and approving designs. And Corey and I are on some email threads where we're, getting fed designs very early on, like in the earliest stages. So we can be like, oh, change this, change that. And, things like that, just to make the process fairly streamlined. And then, the scripting process is an ongoing thing where we're constantly tweaking things here and there. And, every now and then I'll hop in and go, I'm going to write that scene, and I'll add some things to a thing or whatever. But there's so much going on. There's, the days definitely fill up, and usually somebody's hassling me about something that, it needs to be looked at, or this title sequence isn't quite working in this way, or what's going on with this, and it'll usually take me too long to get back to them, and so I'm getting yelled at for not giving people answers. So it's a fun process that seems never ending, but it's all worth it in the end.
I listened back to our last chat after the season 1 finale, and you had said that
Don't hold me to things I said.
I know. But you had talked about how you were really looking forward to, doing more completely original storylines exclusive to the show and everything. And then, years go by, we see season 2, and season 2 is even more so the comic, very, very true to the comic. And there weren't as many, changing lanes and stuff like that as there were in season 1.
Some here and there. Sure.
Yeah, I know. I was just wondering if that was something that you decided, no, we're going to stick more to the comic, or are some of those changes just because a lot of the changes are, I think, the smaller things, your things like your shrinking ray,
Wait, pun intended. The smaller things. Sorry,
I didn't mean to do that. I'm
on point with the dad jokes today. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
And Donald and things like that, as opposed to like the bigger overarching changes like season 1 had. Was that more of an intentional thing, or?
Well, I think that the thing with season 1 was that we were trying to make the Guardian's death the end of the premiere and the Omni-Man fight the finale. And we had to take some things from later in the comics and move them in between those two events to give us a full season. We didn't really have that problem when we sat down to map out season 2. It was, we want to open with the introduction of Angstrom and end with the big confrontation between Mark and Angstrom. And then it was like, oh, okay, well, the things that are in between those events, kind of more or less work. And some of the things that were in between those events have already been moved up into season 1. And it all kind of worked. So, it's a season by season, case by case basis. I think that, there might be some more I can't really remember. Maybe there's more changes in season 3. Maybe there's fewer. I don't know. But there's not like a goal to stay closer to the comics or, stray more, at different times. I think that it's really just sitting down and saying, does this work? And for season 2, it did work.
Yeah.
I still would love to do an entire episode that is all completely new stuff, just because if we're fortunate enough to go for many, many seasons, I think there will be some room here and there to, do something new.
Yeah.
I'm not writing the Invincible comics right now, so I'm not really getting to do anything new in that universe. And so it would be neat to, add some things that maybe I didn't get around to in the comics, or, didn't have a chance to do, or decided I didn't want to do at the time, and kind of, throw something new in there. And I also think it'd be a fun thing for the diehard comic book fans to get an episode where it's like, wait, I have no idea what's going to happen here. This is crazy.
And that's exactly why I asked that. I mean, don't get me wrong. The fact that it's like so close to the comic and has been adapting it so perfectly has been incredible. Like, and the way you guys have been taking it from the multiple issues throughout the whole thing and finding those spots.
Speaking of changes, though, this isn't really a question, more of a statement, but we've all been, we watched all the episodes together, the 4 of us. We had like Wyatt on stream and, watching in the background. But out of all the changes that have happened, the biggest thing that got the biggest reaction out of the 4 of us was Angstrom saying the word chainsaw. Oh my god!
Seriously, like an entire episode.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
It was like
were
a
like, "What the
two-part
fuck?
too, because
Don't
we
say
saw the
chainsaw."
fox. We saw the fox, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, is that chainsaw?" And then he says chainsaw, and we just lost it. Yeah, it was
Lost our
incredible.
minds.
Something
Oh
we
my
were
God.
never expecting for
Oh.
sure this early on in the story. So
And I
Yeah,
mean, he could.
I thought that would be a fun Easter egg for people that had read the final issue. It was something when I was writing the final issue, I was like, huh, this would be funny to throw in here. And then when I was writing this episode, I'm always trying to look for little things that, can hint at things in the future or can be little Easter eggs for fans. And I think for anyone who's just watching the show, it's like, oh, okay, this is a dimension where Angstrom has a child and the child has a pet fox. Okay, cool. But if you know about that one scene in the comic, it is kind of a cooler moment.
yeah,
Definitely.
It's stupid those moments pay off, really, Robert, because we seriously got such a fucking kick out of that moment. It made us so happy because, we do know everything that's going to happen, but there were the subtle changes in it were just fantastic. Dude, the fucking execution scene just going
But
down.
yeah, just
Oh,
that
yeah.
line
whole
and
that whole
decapitating that
sequence of seeing all
You-
those different angstroms was already like
Yeah.
blowing us away, and then we got the chainsaw
Yeah.
thing on top
You
of it.
did.
I got to give credit. Tanner Johnson directed the episode and just did an amazing
Whew.
job. That execution sequence was boarded by Chris Palmer, who's like a really amazing board artist that works on the show. But like we have a really like crazy talented team on the show that's doing great stuff, and those sequences especially were like really effective, and it was really cool the way everything was laid out and the way it all came together.
Yeah, it did a great job of making us like understand Angstrom's torment that he was going through, because in the comic you can't really understand why you understand why he's a villain and why he's mad at Invincible, but this really fleshes it out. It makes us like, oh, well, you can't really blame him for,
Well, I mean, that
bumping.
to me is really the most like fun aspect of working on this show. I say in interviews, it's like working on a second draft, and maybe I should have written a second draft when I was working on the comic. But it's fun for me to be able to know everything that happens in the comics, know where all the stories go, and be able to kind of find like, oh, okay. If I take this time to show more of what happens to Angstrom in the other dimensions, you'll really get a better sense of why he hates Mark so much. And it's new stuff, but it heightens things and like ramps up the drama significantly. So, you can say, the finale is pretty much exactly how it was in the comics, but hopefully it hits harder and is more emotional because we were able to find those little moments to add to, what was already there and really kind of beef up the storytelling that was, being told in the comics.
Yeah. If you needed validation, here it is. It works.
Thank you. Yes,
Coming
please.
from fans of the comics that know it. Yes. So we have two questions about changes that were made about a very small character that
Okay.
maybe can be bigger.
Is it Shrinking Ray?
It's Shrinking Ray. Nice
You know,
segue.
that was way too much setup for a pun that was already made
was
by
already-
Ryan.
But that's what makes it funny. That's
gotta
what makes
keep
it
it
funnier.
going.
Is that
Okay.
so she's alive.
Yes.
What was is there a bigger reason as to why? Like because it was such a shock kind of in the comic, and that's another moment where when we were watching it, we are like, what's happening? What's going on? And then again, you shocked us, the readers.
No, it was very important to me that by the end of this season, you realized that no one in that Lizard League sequence actually we're going to bring back Iguana. We're going to bring back Komodo Dragon. They're all coming back.
Iguana's gonna be like Darth Maul, have the spider legs or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only it'll
Yeah.
be spider for Komodo Dragon. It'll just be like mechanical spider legs that pop out of his neck, and then the spider legs will walk, and then his dead body will just flop around. Spider legs move around. I'm gonna write that down. Oh, you're recording. No, in all seriousness, Shrinking Ray is a different character, and she's cooler, and we feel like we could do more with her. So I think that realistically, it's a survivable thing. You know, all of her bones were broken and her body was pretty crushed, but it's something that she could, you know, survive from. And you know, we just knew we had more story opportunity with her. So I guess I'll leave that at you'll just have to watch season 3.
Okay. Now, I
And then
mean, she was in a, you know, in her hospital bed, chamber type thing. It was a little hard to tell. Was she her full size, or is she like stuck halfway, or is she just?
Yeah, I think, yeah, she's still stuck at her whatever size she was when she almost died, because it's like a deliberate thing for her to change size.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
so yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, that was a good catch by Ryan. He was like, I think she looked like smaller than she should be.
Because
And
The
either
bed
that's a
is way
very
too
big hospital bed.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. We made this hospital bed for giants, but she can use it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, the GDA helps a lot of people of various
and-
sizes. It would make
and-
sense. They
I
have a
mean,
giant
Komodo's
bed.
really big, so it's like for her to crawl out, it's like, all right, well, it's hard to tell with that guy.
Yeah.
One big topic surrounding season 2 was the break between episode 4 and episode 5. Fucking episode 4. The intro to episode 4 was
Oh my god.
one of
Yeah.
the best like things I've seen in media ever. Like the black hole, and like it felt like the writers got together and they were like, "What we're not going to be able to redeem Nolan. There's no way to do it. But let's fucking try our damnedest." Because you just feel for him, and I mean, obviously we have more of a connection as the readers of the comic, so we know where it goes. But oh man, it was just so awesome. And then to tie in every shot with Debbie walking was just genius. It was so good. Such a good team working on this show that I think we've gotten to the point now where you're like, oh, there's going to be a break between episode 4 and episode 5. And we just like shrugged our shoulders like, okay, like we trust this team so much, and it always ends up working out. And it was awesome. It was
Yeah. No, I mean,
great
I
fun episode.
wholeheartedly agree. I think, is Helen Lay credited for writing that episode?
I think so.
I think she wrote. Yeah, I think that's
Jason Zurich and Dan Duncan.
they directed.
Oh,
I
okay.
think I think that was Helen's. Gosh, is that Helen's first episode? I
Yeah,
know she
Helen, yeah.
co-wrote the Adam Eve thing with me, but Helen was a great addition to the team, starting in season 2, and has been like a real you know, pivotal, like core member of the writing team. And it's been great working with her and Simon Rasiopa and Ross Strachey and then our freelance writers that come in. It's been awesome being able to sit with the team and you know, watch them like you know, dig in and get to know these characters better than I do, and it's been a lot of fun, and they've done some really amazing work.
Speaking of, like, I think you mentioned earlier, it was Tanner that did episode 3, right? The Alan the Alien episode.
Yes.
How
Yes.
incredible! I mean, like getting to do the narration, the voiceover, and the end credit scene being half the episode, like that was done just so pitch perfect and so fun too. So was that just a blast to work on? Just having that be the Alan episode, the title card being Alan, and
Yeah, that was a lot of fun, and I really have to give it to the team at Prime Video, like our executives and the team overseeing our executives, like everybody involved is really game for us to do weird stuff. You know, that was one where I really didn't know if we'd be able to get, you know, we want to make people think it's a 22-minute episode, and then the credits are going to roll, and then we're going to have what's technically the longest after credits sequence in existence ever, but it's really just the rest of the episode.
yeah,
And there is a chance that people could turn this show off when these credits roll for a second, but we're going to risk it. And they were like, yeah, okay. Like, we'll see.
amazing.
And yeah, I'm so happy that they let us take chances like that. And yeah, that was a lot of fun. I was really excited for that episode to come out, just because, you know, it was such a weird, bizarre episode. And, you know, we're always trying to do something different. Like, above all, we just want to make a show that makes people go, oh, I didn't expect that. And oh, I can't believe they're doing that. And wow, that's weird. And, you know, that's why we, you know, have Fortnite guns and
My God.
like weird cameos that shouldn't be there, and like all kinds of fun, wacky stuff, and, you know, weird tonal shifts, and it's just an overall bizarre show is the goal.
Yeah, you've been saying it for years now. Spider-Man is not in season 2.
100% not.
You've been saying it. I don't know why everybody's shocked.
No.
Yeah, Agent Spider is not Spider-Man. You
No.
know?
Yeah,
He's
and
Agent
I'll announce right here we're developing an Agent Spider show.
Could it be called the Spectacular Agent Spider? I would prefer.
Yeah,
to just
I mean,
be
what else would it be
Spectacular.
called?
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great. The guy's
I
name is
know-
Professor Octopus.
Yeah,
Prof
I
Ock.
love that. I caught
Prof
that when we
Ock,
watched
yeah.
Prof Ock. One of the great moments from last time you were on this show is you talked about being in the booth with all of the actors and having just like moments like Ross Marquand doing Aquarius and deciding to do it like an underwater Jeff Bridges, like things like that were so entertaining to hear about. Are there other moments from recording season 2 that like stand out to you as just either funny moments or even really intense moments? Obviously the finale was crazy, but
Yeah,
There's
I
got to
mean,
be an
these are-
Octobot story. There's got to be.
Well, these are the kind of questions where, yeah, it's like it's hard for me to answer because
True.
again, season
Yeah,
2 and 3
been a
run
while
together,
ago.
and I worry that I'll be like, oh yeah, and then it's like, oh no, that's
Don't
from
worry
season
about
1.
that. Don't worry about that.
yeah,
You just speak your mind.
Yeah, and also this all happened years ago at this point. So yeah, let me see. Good Lord.
I will say Ryan and we're huge This Is Us fans. So Sterling K. Brown, oh my God, he was so good like to start, but that finale, Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah.
He was spectacular.
He was so good, and yeah, that way, his recording sessions for that stuff were so powerful and moving, and he really got that, Angstrom to his from his perspective is a good guy, and there's like a real frustration that comes through in his performance from like, don't you guys get it? I'm trying to do a good thing here.
Mhm.
Dang it! I had an answer for the other thing, and then you said
I
that.
ruined it.
TJ.
I ruined it. I was trying to fill the air.
Yeah, it's kind of about Ross Marquand again. Ross, he does omnipotence as well.
Yeah.
His omnipotence is is kind of a version of his impression of somebody that I'm not going to name. Kind of like his Aquarius was a Jeff Bridges. If you listen to it though, I think you'll get it pretty quickly.
right.
But
I love this.
it's
I love this. I'm gonna have to go listen again.
it was a very specific person. He did it, and I was like we're in the booth, and we were like, yeah, that's great. And then he was like, oh yeah, I'm just doing my blank impression, and we were like, oh, okay, that's still
Doing that.
fine.
Yeah. Yeah, we had the pleasure of meeting Ross Marquand, and he was awesome. He was really, really cool. So it must be cool to work with him.
It's fine.
Voices though. Last time, we were talking about Battle Beast and getting to be Worf.
Michael Dorn?
Michael Dorn. And so now Peter Cullen. I mean,
Oh yeah.
what was that like?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
especially for you, man. Like that's huge.
Well, so all of the voice records on the show for season 1, we were in booths. It was all pre-pandemic,
Right.
and pandemic protocols have kind of like they're kind of more convenient for the actors and the voice directors and stuff because everybody's just kind of zooming in from home in a lot of cases, and the actors will sometimes go into the studio if they don't have a home studio. Some of them do, but so they'll be in the studio and then they'll be piping everything in through Zoom, basically, and it's been a real blessing, especially with in 2 cases, the Peter Cullen records and the Sandra Oh records, because Sandra Oh records are making us cry all the time. And it's nice to just have your camera off and just be sitting there, and then you can just give notes and nobody knows you're all tearing up and stuff. But the Peter Cullen record would have been super weird if it was in person, because I would have just been everybody knows
Breathing on the glass.
everybody knows the Transformers is a huge part of my life. At this point, they must know. And it was just crazy, like hearing his voice come through the computer and saying lines of dialogue from a character I co-created, and it was just a real moving and indescribable feeling that washed over me, and I was just like, I don't know. I have that one line. He says it at the end where he's like, he is the key to
Yeah.
winning this battle with the Viltrumites. I can't remember exactly. I'm not good at that stuff.
Yeah.
But I have that saved on my phone. I listen to it from time to time. It's pretty cool.
I mean, yeah, and that's the one that sounds like it cuts to the end of the Transformers movie with the Linkin Park music.
I mean, you know, a little bit, like whatever.
Oh yeah, it's great. Does Jason Mantzoukas know how much love Rexplode is getting this season?
I hope not.
It's probably for the best. Probably for the best.
I especially have been enjoying this season, and Bill hates that I've been enjoying it so much because
The less said about
he's getting
Jason
it too.
Mantzoukas, the better. Screw that guy. No,
Yeah,
I was talking to him in private, and I was like, "We should pretend we have a beef." And he was like, "I'm good. Let's do it." And I was like, "All right." And so for the last like 10 interviews, anytime he comes up, I go, "I don't know, that guy's a real asshole. I don't like him."
I like to think that you've been getting like, you know, a dozen episodes a month for the last several months, and he hasn't got any, so it just seems like you hate the guy, and like there's no other side of the beef.
Well, the thing is, though, is like I'm doing interviews about Invincible all the time, so I'm mentioning him.
That's what I
daily.
mean.
And he's just, you know, doing his podcasts and working and stuff, and it's a completely one-sided thing.
It doesn't come
He's
up.
welcome to come on this show and just talk trash about you all he wants.
I would love
he can come
to
here.
talk
You
trash.
don't want him stinking this show up.
at least you're consistent, Robert. At least you're consistent. So should we do a lightning round before we finish up?
Are we finishing up? I've been at this for.
I mean, how
20
much? How
minutes.
long do you want to be on this thing, man?
Am I that bad of a guest? You guys
Well,
are just
let's do-
wrapping
Well,
this up?
I have a
No,
question.
you-
I have a question. In an interview you did a while back, you were talking
Sure.
about season 2 and how there was something that you wanted to do that you hoped it would work out, and you hoped that it would be what you wanted it to be. And we're assuming that is Philip Shaft.
It was.
So what went into that and kind of creating that? Do you have any stories behind that?
Well, we just wanted to, you know, we wanted to make sure that the jokes landed, and we had to adapt that scene for, you know, animation. And so that was something where, you know, we watched a bunch of different cartoons and tried to key in on like shortcuts that we were aware of and that you know stuck out to us, and we noticed them and everything. You know, tried to construct the scene as best we could. But then you know, we knew we were going to be doing that visual gag, and so you know, it's going to be a fairly lackluster visually sequence. And so we wanted to try and find somebody to do the voice work that could actually carry the sequence. And at some point, they you know, at some point they were like, the guy's a comic book creator. Robert, you should do that voice. And I don't ever want to do a voice for the show because I don't ever want to hear my voice when I'm watching the show. So I don't know. I've been pretty public. I'm anti-cameo. It bugs me when people, you know, when Peter Jackson shows up in the Lord of the Rings movies. I'm like, what are you doing?
He just bites a carrot. He just walks in front of the camera, bites a carrot, and then walks off. That was in one of the Hobbit movies, yeah.
And I think I'm the only person on the planet that doesn't like him because everybody else is like totally into it. So I get it, but it's just a thing that bugs me. And so anyway, so I never want to do it, and I knew, you know, we needed to go big. Like we needed somebody that could like carry the scene. And so, you know, we're huge fans of I Think You Should Leave, and Detroiters. I don't know if anyone out there has not seen the show Detroiters with Tim Robinson and Sam Richardson. Holy shit. That show is so amazing. What is it?
What is it on?
You guys don't know? It was on, was it on Comedy Central? I think it was on Comedy Central for 2 seasons. I think they did 10 episodes a season. It was the show he did before I Think You Should Leave. He did it right after SNL. It's the greatest, just the absolute greatest. It's about 2 ad guys that run an ad agency in Detroit, and they help like local businesses, and it's the silliest show ever. But anyway, so I was like, Tim Robinson would be perfect, and he really pulled it off. We ended up it was funny. We ended up getting a few reads from him over the course of the recording session, and it got to a point towards the end where I was like, "Look, man, I don't know how this is going to animate, so let's just do one where you go absolutely nuts." And he was like, "Yeah, okay, I can do that." And he was a super friendly, nice, accommodating guy, and which is fun if you're familiar with his work. It's like that's not who he is in real life. And he just went all out and was full on Tim Robinson. And I kind of wish we were able to use that take, but it just didn't make sense for a guy in a comic book convention to be doing that to a fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it made me laugh because these are the kind of things I think about sometimes when I get one of those like autograph lines, and I'm like
Yeah.
signing for people, and everybody's getting a different experience, and
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I was just a different guy for this guy.
Yeah.
And then it was a different guy for that guy. Like, that'd be funny, right? And then you just realize, no, you're just making that guy walk away going, I didn't know Robert Kirkman was a lunatic. So sometimes I get weird thoughts about doing funny stuff, but yeah, it didn't make sense for him to be yelling into Mark's face.
Yeah.
Has he done any voice work before?
I know he was Ugly Sonic in that Chip and Dale movie that came out on
my
Disney Plus.
God.
Oh yeah.
I don't
was
know
a
if you
great-
remember they got the rights.
That's
somehow
awesome.
to
I didn't
put
know that was him.
Sonic,
That's really funny.
in there, and
That was
was him.
that was great.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I actually think that came out around the time that we were recording, and that was one of the things where we were like, "Oh shit, yeah, he did that voice as Sonic. We should see if he wants to do this." Because I think that was around the same time we were recording.
One thing I want to talk about that I just realized is a huge moment in this season that I thought was handled incredibly was Amber and Mark. Like,
Oh yeah,
so many haters from season one, but I love that you guys just showed them up and it's like, such a beautiful end to that relationship and in such a great way too. Not only just, I mean, God, Zazie Beetz' performance in that scene is
Oh, yeah.
incredible. Like, not to mention all of this was, followed up from, Anissa, which I mean was
Oh my
also
God.
incredible. Like that whole episode was a ride, especially the second half.
yeah. I mean, it really added a lot of weight to the Anissa, like appearance and everything, and having that be the catalyst that led to their breakup. And I think Zazie did an amazing job. I mean, she did an amazing job every episode, but it was like, oh my God, like holy crap, like this is really, it's really emotional. It's fun. Like, you really know that the scene is landing when you've seen it like 50 times over the course of the production, and when you're like in that final sound mix, you're watching the scene and you're like, oh geez, this is
Yeah.
making me emotional, even though I've seen this thing 400 times and I know exactly what's happening. So that was great. Shit, I feel like I had something else to say about that scene, and now it's I'm just gonna.
God damn it, TJ!
EJ, save me!
Fucking TJ!
No, just the reasoning that they kept giving, and like they clearly were trying to make it work, and just Amber being like, I'm not part of that world and I want to, I tried, but my life matters. Like the way
Yeah.
that was handled, in the show was so well done.
Yeah, I mean that's we're kind of trying to do like a realistic take on the Lois Lane situation. Like at a certain point, a boulder is going to be moving too fast, and Superman is not going to be able to keep her from getting crushed.
Yeah.
Like that relationship is not going to end well. In a more realistic scenario. So yeah, that's definitely something that we wanted to explore, and it led to kind of a sad outcome for old Amber, but she'll probably be better off. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I also loved Rick and Donald.
Oh my
And
God.
kind of like teaming them up was genius, and like the scene on the rooftop was just so, that whole episode was just one scene after the other of just emotion, and then we got that crazy ending. But yeah, I loved that scene. I liked them teaming up as well.
Just Donald from season one. Like, I remember when we first saw him, I was like, the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on? Like, from the beginning, I was like, what's going on? What's going on, Robert? I need to know. And the fact that it was like you didn't get me just once, but you got me twice, because you did cover his backstory. Oh, he blew up and he died, and that's
Sure.
why he's an android. But wait a minute, you fucking did it to me again, and from the very, very beginning, he was an android the whole time. So you tricked me twice.
Yeah.
Fucking great. Loved it.
Kind of.
Loved it.
One other big change from season 1 to season 2. Blue title card, no blue suit. What's the
I know,
deal with
right?
that?
It's almost like we're like foreshadowing a blue suit prior to the blue suit existing on the way
We were
out.
doing so many mental gymnastics trying to figure out how is he going to end up in the blue suit by the end of these events of this season, like thinking it was going to happen. But
It was
it is
all
a
done
perfect
just to drive you guys crazy.
it's a
Succeeded.
perfect
Again,
tone setter, I think, going into season
Well-
3, because even the people I think who haven't read the comic are seeing all of the people who have read the comic, or seeing people sharing images online of like, you're not ready for the blue suit era of Invincible, and it's such a
Let
cool
me,
way to get that excitement.
Let me go ahead and ease your craziness a little bit. By the time he wears the blue suit in the show, the title card will not be black and blue.
Wait, will it not have any black and blue in it at all?
No.
It'll be completely different.
Oh.
Can be
I can't reveal too much. I don't think it'll be
we're
black and
getting
blue at all.
all kinds of exclusives.
So okay.
Like
So,
and subscribe. Like and subscribe.
No, this is, you know what this has done? This has completely rewired our brains into the timeline of
Yeah.
season 3. We all thought we had it figured out, but we're wrong now.
so
We're all
I-
wrong.
all right. So
Good.
we got season 1 all about, Mark wanting to become his father. Season 2, am I becoming my father? Now season 3, and Wyatt, you brought this up, or going to be bringing this up later in this episode, depending on where this fits. But Wyatt, when you were talking about the finale, you're like, this whole thing, season 3 is going to be about the trauma that Mark now carries after committing this, this murder, essentially, that he believes he did, and how he is now going to rationalize and carry this weight that maybe he is his father. So I took it as like this whole season has been about him, like the cracks showing, and now he has that. And that's, I mean, I'm not asking a question. I'm just kind of, now that we know this new information, it's almost like, it's revealing. This whole season has been the reveal of the black and blue, but not sure what you mean by it not being black and blue for long now. That's interesting.
Well, I
I
mean,
told you.
the title card sequences aren't. They're not, they're not like necessarily that literally like, the cracks in Mark's psyche are definitely showing, and that's why we're seeing the title card crumbling and stuff. But you'll just have to see what season 3's title cards are, and
What they do.
how they may apply to what's happening in season 3.
We're gonna have a whole episode of just picking apart every little thing you say in this interview and just like coming up with our own predictions. That's what we do.
Please
So
do.
we pick
And I
everything
can
apart.
sit back and go, ha, they're wrong.
We normally are. We can't even pronounce like characters' names right. So
Half
we'll
the
get
names.
there. Only been doing this for 8 years.
What's funny is I feel like there was an episode I listened to where you guys were breaking down the like how season 2 was going to fall and what was going to fall where, and like one of you would be right and I'd be like, oh no, and then the other one would be like, nah, that's not what's going to happen, and I'd be like, all right, sweet. And then the ones that were wrong would convince the ones that were right that they were wrong, and it kept happening like a couple of times.
I had the prediction that we would definitely, my like long shot prediction, which we did like a few months ago, was that we won't get black and blue suit in this season, and you guys convinced me like, no, of course we are, we are. I'm like,
Right. It wasn't only us that convinced you that. The second we saw the title card in the first episode, we were all like, oh, we're getting the blue suit in season 2. It's not even a question. But
that's
that
crazy.
was more
Did the keys of the yellow and black Invincible in the trailer, did that mess you guys up? Did it make you think
that was the whole thing. Even watching the season all the way up until we had watched the finale, like right before we hit play on the finale, I think we looked at each other and we're like, okay, so where is that going to happen? Because we know like we're gearing up for Angstrom right now. This doesn't make any sense. And then as soon as we saw it in the episode, of course, it made sense.
Know,
but yeah, that was a head scratcher for a long time.
And we know season 3 is in production. We're like, did they just sneak a season 3 shot in there just to like really mess with us? Yeah.
that would be funny. We should have done that.
There you go.
Speaking of season 3,
Oh boy.
are you able to tell us
Nope.
I know the answer. Well, wait a minute. You don't know what I'm going to ask you.
Okay.
I don't know how I can turn this into what
I
I
got.
wasn't gonna ask you
Can
now.
I take it, Bill? Because I think I might.
Yeah, you can take it. You can
Where
take it. You
there
can
where
take it.
there's smoke, there's fire. Where there's a Geldarian,
There's
a jacket.
there's a technology that they may or may not wear to improve their strength against robotic force of aliens.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. There's a Gildarian somewhere? What?
I will say,
Where's
seeing
this guy at? Where's he?
seeing
Where's he
seeing
at? What's
seeing
he up to?
knockout. Yeah, seeing knockout Kid Thor, that was exciting. It's like, okay, door opened up a little bit to some of these other Invincible Universe characters that we love. Like maybe seeing some more of them. That's cool. So getting to see like, all right, it's it's possible. That was exciting.
Yeah, I mean, there might be some room for some fun here and there, like the Knockout and Kid Thor appearance, but I wouldn't expect much.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, not actually what I was going to ask, Ryan. I appreciate you thinking that I care more about Tech Jacket than I do season 3 of Invincible, but
I know you.
Which I might. But I was just going to say, can you give us any kind of indication of when we'll be seeing season 3? Can you say whether or not it's going to be this year, or is it just no answer?
Yeah, it's got to be no answer. Sorry, I think there's Prime Video ninjas in my ceiling somewhere that are going to drop down and attack me if I give any kind of indication whatsoever. So
I'm going to ask the question that everybody wants to know, that you're not going to, that you may or may not answer, but I'm going to ask it anyways and just gauge your facial expressions. In between season 1 and 2, we got an amazing Adam Eve special. Season 2 had a lot of really cool Splode stuff where he talked about stuff that like you don't know about, like, oh, he spent a year and a half in Eve's room, like what's that about, like in her closet, like I don't know, like maybe we'll get like a Adam Eve and Splode special in between season 2 and 3, maybe, or something like that, possibly. Oh,
his face got more and more or less excited.
Sunken in.
I almost thought his camera froze because he was just.
No, I hear what you're saying. There is definitely not a special in between season 2 and season 3.
All right.
Sorry.
I don't believe it though. He's being Robert Kirkman, guys. Don't let him fool you.
Did you not get enough
Rexplode?
Did you not get enough of the spotlight on Rexplode?
I'm super happy. It was so much beyond what I wanted for Splode in season 2, but I'm greedy and I want more and more and more, and I just
you do love Splode, but you realize Jason Mantzoukas does the voice, right?
So consistent.
How can you like him so much?
I want it.
So here's what I will give you guys, because I have said this prior. So I have said many times that the gap between season 1 and 2 will be the longest gap ever between any seasons, and the gaps between future seasons will be much shorter. That large gap is what made that special. Necessitated. That's the word I was looking for. Anyway, that large gap necessitated that special, and there won't be that large a gap between season 2 and 3. So no need for a special.
Yeah,
I respectfully don't believe you, Robert Kirkman. I think that this is
wow. Well, I will respectfully sit back and enjoy you being wrong again.
We shall see. Pizza Bet 2024.
Okay. Don't make bets with people that know the answer.
This is our life. This is what we do with Bill.
Hey, Bill guessed the. What was it? The season 1
launch
date?
Launch date. Yep.
You got to give Bill some credit.
Broke the clock, right? Twice a day.
I will ride that horse into the sunset until the day I die. That'll be on my headstone.
I cannot tell you guys that when you guys were guessing the season 2 launched, and I was just like, come on, Bill. Come on, Bill. I was so hoping you'd do it again. And then as soon as you gave your answer, I was like,
How many times would that have to happen for you to start suspecting that Bill had some kind of leak or some kind of insider at Amazon?
Man, yeah, I don't know. If it had happened for season 2, I would have been suspicious.
Started asking questions. Yeah. I
Yes,
mean,
indeed.
normally towards the end of these things, we're talking about like, hey, video games would be cool, board games would be cool, all these kind of things. An art book would be awesome. Well, you guys kind of did it. Ever since, you announced a lot of this stuff last summer at
Yeah.
San Diego, and especially since November and the launch of season 2, you guys have been like pumping stuff out. And I don't know when it was that you told us, but you said a while ago, before long, we're going to have more Invincible than we really know what to do with. And we have been so busy at certain times where we're like trying to like enjoy all this stuff and like, show it off and, make videos out of it and have so much fun with this stuff. And you're right. You did it. And
It's
I
tested
feel
my
weird
marriage.
asking if like we're getting more because like I don't really need it. You know what I mean? Like we've gotten it all.
Tip of the iceberg, guys. You haven't
Come
seen
on.
anything yet.
Come
Oh my God.
on.
Yeah, behind the scenes, it's just a barrage of, it's me,
So then-
Ryan, and Corey on threads, just like approving this and approving that and going over this and going over that. It's nonstop almost every day.
What?
And yeah, there's so much.
I will
think,
say,
yeah,
like, you guys are
I
getting
don't
like,
want to give too many specifics. There's so much more coming.
you're getting like
Sweet.
a top tier board game company. You're getting Mortal Kombat, Fortnite. Like, you're picking the right things too. You're not just slapping the Invincible name on anybody that wants to use it too. So you guys are actually
Yeah.
doing a good job picking the projects to partner with though. So you saying that there's even more coming, it's just that's incredible. So
Oh,
wow.
so much more.
It's really
Man.
good for us because it means that the podcast will continue on. So
Yeah.
give us stuff
It's all-
to do and talk about.
What do you do when you take a vacation from all of this stuff? What do you do? Like what's the best week look like when you're not working?
I only enjoy working.
Amazon is listening. They're listening.
Those are the Amazon ninjas right behind me.
No, I don't know. I don't really take a vacation without having to, like I was on vacation we had actually gone to France when we were doing voice records, and I was having to like wake up at 3 a.m. to do voice records in the US over Zoom. My wife was thrilled. But no, the production on the show is such that, like I do go on vacations, but I'm usually like on my laptop for a good portion of that stuff, making sure I stay on top of things. Which again is not, that's not a complaint. I love what I do. So it's totally, if I can be on a Zoom with Peter Cullen while I'm on vacation in France, I feel like I'm living the life.
Right.
Yeah.
I got no complaints there. But no, I don't know. Were you asking me like what I would do for fun if I didn't have to work? I don't have an answer.
I did, but now I feel like I fucking have too much fun and I need to do more with my life. Because
No, not at all. There is a sickness in this guy that nobody wants. The constant need to be doing something is that's not healthy. So,
we enjoy it, so keep at it until it kills you, I guess, because we'll be there just over your corpse,
Bill, this got
ingesting
real
it all.
dark.
Jesus.
Oh no.
And on that note,
you did
Wyatt,
it, man.
Ask another question.
I don't know if I have other
show the man
questions.
your tattoo. Has he seen your tattoo?
Oh yeah, I don't know if you have. So I had a black hole tattoo already. So I added a little Nolan silhouette there from
that's
episode
cool.
4. Yeah,
But that's a radiant black tattoo, right? Or is it just a black hole tattoo?
It is, but I'm also just a big fan of like space. So it was an excuse to get a black hole tattoo that the radiant black logo looks very cool. And I love radiant black as well.
I know that this is a podcast as well as being on YouTube, so I apologize for the hand gestures. But so you're this big of a fan of Radiant Black, and you're this big of a fan of Invincible. Is that,
to
is that
be
what I'm
fair,
saying?
I have the I'd still have you tattooed across my chest as well. So I have 2 Invincible tattoos.
That looked really small too, though.
He works day in and day out for you, Wyatt, and you gave him 2 small tattoos.
That was like a collarbone afterthought. Like I thought, if it's across your chest,
no,
that's
it's a
one
collarbone
thing.
one. Yeah.
To be
Yeah,
fair,
that's
that's
tiny.
one of the most painful spots to get a tattoo, and he decided to get the Invincible one right there. So
True.
Not for Wyatt to be outdone, and the guys don't know this yet. However, I did start a half sleeve Invincible tattoo that will.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Hold on.
Is
Hold
that?
on.
This
Hold
is,
on.
well,
No,
Is
don't tell him.
that
Don't tell him.
boy.
Don't tell him. Don't tell him.
It
Let him
Until
guess.
he gives us, have him give us something. No, TJ, don't.
Is that a Braca Badoom?
Where am I at?
Is that a?
Rex Splode's big moment. It's going to be the overarching and then a bunch of different Invincible type stuff in the background. So I'm working on it. I got my next appointment actually tomorrow morning. So it's going to take some time. Not showing it all off yet, but it's
TJ, the bracket
more to
doom
come.
looks awesome though. That looks
yeah,
that looks
it
great.
does look great.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. Well, if I could reveal here for the first time, I've got a.
An Invincible podcast tattoo?
It's just
I got Optimus Prime. My whole back is covered with Optimus Prime.
it's just Ryan Otley's face.
Yeah, I would get Ryan Otley's face tattoo on my back. That's a good one. If there's one person on this planet I like less than Jason Mantzoukas,
Since when
That's
the Ryan
not
Otley
true.
Robert Kirkman beef started? Since it starts here?
No.
definitely not. Definitely not.
Oh,
All right. Well, we'll wrap it up here, man. Thank you so much for coming on and talking with us and just celebrating Invincible and the end of season 2. Don't know what we're gonna do for season finale for the season finale for 3 because we don't have a milestone episode, so I don't know what that's gonna look like.
You guys can't pump out.
We got to pump out a
is it
bunch
56 episodes by the end of
just
season
to get to
3.
be 200.
You
I
said
mean,
there's
you
a
tell
lot
us.
of-
You tell us. Are we going to be able to?
Well, you said that there's a lot of stuff coming out for Invincible, so we could do more episodes. We could get to 200. You never know.
True.
Maybe we just take it slow and go to 250 or 150.
Yeah, you could do that. Just
that's
There you
slow.
only 6 episodes.
Yeah, we'll just do 6 more episodes.
That's funny.
So thank you, man. This has been great. I hope you've been really enjoying it, because we've been enjoying it like as much as I can see possible, and being part of the community and seeing everybody's reaction. It seems to have gone over so well. I just saw today it still has a Rotten Tomato score of 100. So that's huge, man. Like, you guys have done it. You've done the damn thing, and I can't wait because the way that season 2 has been put together, and we've been talking about this since the beginning of season 2. We know you guys have worked on 2 and 3 back to back, so it just feels like season 2 is just part 1 of a 2-part season, and season 3 is going to be insane.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited for people to see season 3. I think that every season gets better than the one before it, and I think that season 3 is an advancement on season 2, the way that I hope season 2 is an advancement on season 1. Yeah, I'm really excited for people to finally get to see it coming in. I'm not going to say.
I'll put the title card
That's
there.
where we'll end it. That's where we'll just end it.
I'll put
We'll
the
end
title
it.
card.
Can I ask you this?
Please do.
Do you know a release date for the season premiere of 3?
I don't know a specific date, but I know,
A
it'll
window?
either be, it'll be like,
Okay.
just because, I assume it's going to announce, or I assume it's going to launch on a Thursday because that's what we're doing with this season. So I just don't know what the date of the Thursdays around that range are. But I will say it will be in a month with Thursdays.
Shit. Well, that
My heart stopped for
I'm
a
telling
second
you,
until
we're getting all the exclusives.
Unless between now and then, Prime Video changes their launch days and it moves to
Goes
like
back to
Wednesday or Friday or whoever. Then it'll be in a month with a Wednesday or a Friday.
All right, I'll take that.
I wish I could tell you guys.
No, we don't need to know everything. It's okay. It gives us something to speculate about. So that's all we'll be doing
6 more episodes.
until we get that
Yep.
announcement. So, but yeah,
Oh, you know what? Here, we're going to have some fun. I'm taking over. I want all 4 of you to guess when you think season 4 is going to come out so that I can laugh at you.
okay.
Season 4?
Wait, season
Or,
4?
sorry, season 3. Whichever.
Oh, Freudian
Whichever-
slip.
Oh,
Freudian slip for sure.
I
Oh
already-
boy, who
I
was
already-
one? We're guessing specific days.
Time out. Do you want specific days or like windows?
Days.
I think it's got to be specific dates.
Okay.
All right. I'm going.
I think we've said this.
We have said it.
I think we have two, but I forget what my
Yeah.
Oh, have you
guess was.
guessed
got
this
mine.
in a previous episode that I haven't heard?
Probably a couple times.
They all think
That's all we
2025.
do. I'll go
They
first.
think
I'll go.
2025, which is fucking ridiculous.
I got it.
Pessimists. Go ahead.
My God, you're crazy.
March 6th.
Oh,
I
Ryan.
was gonna say March 13th. Yeah. I don't remember
Yeah,
what my
I was
official
thinking
guess was
this
when we
one.
did predictions, but yeah, I was gonna say March
Same
13th.
way. I
going-
didn't remember which one.
February 13th.
All right, Bill, do it. Do it, Bill. I dare you.
2026?
2025.
All right.
All right, Bill.
Mine's 2024.
Okay.
All right. I might change it a little bit because I said November, and now I think that that's a little.
No, go with
Should I
it.
not
Go with
change
it. Because if you're right, you're gonna hate yourself.
All right. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say the second week in November. So that would be November 7th.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's the first Thursday in November
Of this year.
of 2024.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Anything exciting planned at San Diego yet?
Yeah, thank you for moving on because I was like,
You're
man, I
welcome.
don't know how to react to any of this. I can't-
I tried. I tried. That's why I'm
can't- I
here.
can't. I gotta, somebody's gonna be like, he blinked, and this is, I was like, this was a bad idea, Robert. What did you do? Hopefully, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think we're still working things out, but there should be some big plans for San Diego.
Cool.
So yeah, there should
We'll
be.
look
I mean,
forward to it.
we'll be announcing something of some kind, in some form.
There you go.
What about New York? What about New York?
We'll be,
Is
we'll
there
be
gonna
announcing
any-
something in New
is there
York
gonna be
as
any-
well.
Okay, good. At least I'm in the running still. As long as there's something in New York.
Yeah. No, there's definitely yeah. I mean, and I'm talking like video games, merchandising. Like there's
Right.
definitely going to be announcements at both San Diego Comic-Con and New York Comic-Con.
Cool.
Right.
We'll be looking forward to that, and we'll be podcasting about it and talking all about it and speculating about it and all that stuff. Thank you so much for coming on. You're always come on at the end of the comic series, at the end of season 1, end of season 2 now. We appreciate it because you're the guy. You're the one. The only one that we still need is we got to get Corey on here, man. I know he's not
Good
not a big interviewer guy, but come on, we gotta get him. We'd love to have Corey on. Like he's our pipe dream, but we'll keep dreaming.
I'll see if I can. I'll see if I can talk him into it.
We'll take that. All right.
Series
well,
finale.
yeah. Oh, there you go. Thanks again for coming on. It's been a blast as always, and then we'll see you guys next time.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay, bye.